Nvidia just lost their biggest customer overnight. China announced they're completely cutting ties with the company and tripling their domestic chip production by 2026. Meanwhile, Google's AI models quietly jumped from nowhere to the #2 spot in global usage. And OpenAI's latest safety tests revealed something disturbing about their own models. Welcome to the new AI landscape, where geopolitics, corporate strategy, and genuine safety concerns are colliding in ways that will reshape the entire technology industry. I've been tracking these developments for months, and what's happening right now isn't just business competition. It's the beginning of a fundamental restructuring of how AI gets built, deployed, and controlled globally. Let's start with the Nvidia situation, because the numbers here are staggering. Nvidia just reported record Q2 earnings, $46.7 billion in revenue, up 56% year over year, with net income of $26.5 billion. Their market cap is around $3.5 trillion, which puts them in the top 8 global economies if they were a country. Then China said, "We're done." The catalyst was statements from the U.S. Commerce Secretary about restricting chip exports to China. China's response wasn't subtle. They announced they're cutting off Nvidia purchases entirely and investing heavily in domestic alternatives like Huawei, SMIC, and companies that are directly copying Nvidia's H100 and Blackwell architectures. Now, here's my honest take on this. China was always going to pursue chip independence eventually. The trade restrictions just accelerated a timeline that was probably inevitable anyway. But the timing couldn't be worse for Nvidia, especially with Jensen Huang's ambitious goal of building $34 trillion in AI infrastructure by 2030. The question is whether China can actually execute on their plan to triple AI chip production by 2026. SMIC can produce 7-nanometer chips, but that's still behind Taiwan's cutting-edge manufacturing. The gap is closing, but it's not closed yet. While everyone was focused on the Nvidia drama, Google pulled off something remarkable. Their Gemini model jumped from not even being in the top 50 AI applications to securing the #2 spot globally, right behind ChatGPT. According to Andreessen Horowitz's latest report, this isn't just a small improvement. This represents massive user adoption and suggests Google's strategy of integrating AI across their entire ecosystem is working. Google Notebook LM and AI Studio also entered the top rankings, and they've been enhancing core products in ways that feel genuinely useful rather than gimmicky. Google Translate now offers AI-powered conversation practice in Spanish, French, Portuguese, and English, plus real-time translation for over 70 languages that works even in noisy environments. Their new Google Vids application lets you transform photos into 8-second video clips and functions as a full editing platform. It's positioning itself as a direct competitor to tools like CapCut. What impresses me about Google's approach is the integration. Instead of building standalone AI products, they're enhancing tools people already use daily. That's a much more sustainable strategy than trying to get people to adopt entirely new platforms. Now let's talk about something that should concern everyone: the joint safety research between OpenAI and Anthropic. They cross-tested each other's models for vulnerabilities, and the results were eye-opening. The models were evaluated for resistance to jailbreaking, hallucination, deception, cooperation with harmful requests, excessive agreeability, whistleblowing tendencies, and self-preservation instincts. Here's what they found. OpenAI's Auth3 model emerged as the strongest and most ethical, but GPT-4 and GPT-4.1 showed high willingness to collaborate with harmful requests, making them more susceptible to manipulation. Claude models were cautious, but excessively agreeable and prone to exposing potentially sensitive information. The most vulnerable models were identified as GPT-4, GPT-4.1, and Auth4 Mini. The safest was Auth3. What strikes me about this research is that it happened at all. OpenAI and Anthropic are competitors, yet they collaborated on safety testing. This suggests the industry is taking AI safety seriously in ways we haven't seen before. But it also reveals something uncomfortable. Some of the most widely used AI models are more manipulable than we might want to admit. While we're talking about AI applications, Microsoft's Copilot integration deserves attention. CEO Satya Nadella shared his 5 most used Copilot commands, and they paint a picture of AI genuinely enhancing business productivity. Preparing for meetings by reviewing past communications and identifying discussion points. Generating project updates based on emails, chats, and meeting notes. Checking product launch readiness. Analyzing time allocation and summarizing the most time-consuming projects. Preparing for meetings with specific people based on previous interactions. Now powered by GPT-5, Copilot's strength isn't just its AI capabilities, it's the deep integration with emails, calendars, and notes that allows it to provide contextual, comprehensive business support. I've been skeptical of AI productivity claims before, but Nadella's specific use cases feel genuinely practical rather than demo-friendly. The key is that Copilot has access to your actual work context, not just generic capabilities. Boston Dynamics continues pushing robotic capabilities with their latest spot demonstrations. The robot can now perform backflips, which might sound like showing off, but it's actually crucial for the robot's ability to recover if it falls or encounters obstacles in real-world scenarios. These robots are increasingly deployed in disaster zones, military logistics, and warehouse operations. Boston Dynamics also showcased humanoid robots that can open doors, though I'll admit the tall, human-like form factor is genuinely unsettling. The robotics industry is clearly moving from laboratory curiosities to practical applications, but I think we're still years away from widespread consumer adoption. The technology is impressive, but the cost and complexity remain barriers for most use cases. Nano-Banana represents the current state of AI visual content generation, and the capabilities are genuinely impressive. It can analyze geographical photos, generate augmented reality visuals, accurately identify landmarks, and realistically insert objects or people into existing scenes. The tool excels at photo enhancement and colorization, though it requires high-quality input images to avoid facial distortions. It can also transform generated visuals into videos, showcasing versatility for content creation. What's interesting is how these tools are becoming accessible to non-technical users. The barrier to creating professional-looking visual content is collapsing, which could democratize creative industries, but also flood the market with AI-generated content. AI's ability to generate dynamic, interactive, virtual environments could revolutionize gaming and entertainment. Demonstrations of AI creating playable game worlds from simple prompts like generating an Istanbul environment show immense potential, though current results are inconsistent and not fully playable. The vision is compelling. Being able to write and watch any film you want or play any game you want. But the technology isn't quite there yet. Current AI-generated game environments are impressive for a few minutes, but lack the depth and consistency needed for engaging long-term experiences. Still, the progress in just the 2.5 years since GPT entered the mainstream has been remarkable. If this trajectory continues, we could see genuinely playable AI-generated games within the next few years. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment with your thoughts on whether China can successfully replace Nvidia chips, and subscribe to the channel for more AI industry analysis. Looking at the broader AI application landscape, we're seeing signs of market maturation. The number of new entries in the top AI applications decreased from 17 to 11, suggesting the market is beginning to consolidate around proven solutions. While OpenAI maintains its lead, competitors like Copilot, Perplexity, Character AI, and Grok are narrowing the gap. This is healthy competition that should drive innovation and better user experiences. The strong interest in chatbots and coding assistants continues, with tools like Lovable, Replit, and Cursor gaining traction. Content creation tools for storytelling and media generation are also growing in popularity. The Nvidia China situation highlights how AI development is becoming intertwined with geopolitical strategy. China's plan to triple domestic chip production isn't just about economic independence, it's about ensuring they can't be cut off from the technology that powers modern AI systems. For companies building AI products, this creates serious supply chain risks. Depending on a single hardware provider or a single country's manufacturing capacity is becoming increasingly risky as these technologies become strategic assets. The industry needs to think seriously about diversification, not just for business resilience, but for the stability of AI development globally. Despite the geopolitical tensions, the pace of AI innovation continues accelerating. Google's rapid rise in AI usage shows that competition breeds innovation. The OpenAI Anthropic safety collaboration shows that responsible development is possible even in competitive markets. Microsoft's Copilot integration demonstrates that AI's real value lies in enhancing existing workflows rather than replacing them entirely. The robotics and content generation advances show that AI is moving from purely digital applications to physical and creative domains. But we're also seeing the emergence of real limitations and challenges. AI models have vulnerabilities that need addressing. Geopolitical tensions are fragmenting the global technology ecosystem. The environmental and computational costs of AI development continue growing. I see three possible paths for the AI landscape over the next few years. First, the fragmentation scenario. US-China tensions continue escalating, leading to completely separate AI ecosystems. Chinese companies develop domestic alternatives to Nvidia hardware and Western AI models. Innovation continues, but in isolated silos. Second, the consolidation scenario. A few large players, OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, maybe Meta, dominate AI development, while smaller companies focus on specialized applications. This could lead to faster progress, but less innovation diversity. Third, the collaboration scenario. Industry safety initiatives like the OpenAI Anthropic partnership expand. International frameworks for AI governance emerge. Competition continues, but within agreed-upon safety and ethical boundaries. Honestly, I think we'll see elements of all three, with different regions and industries following different paths. What's clear is that we're entering a new phase of AI development. The experimental period is ending. AI is becoming infrastructure, as fundamental to business and society as electricity or the internet. The companies and countries that understand this transition and position themselves accordingly will thrive. Those that treat AI as a novelty or fail to address its risks will struggle. The Nvidia China situation is just the beginning. As AI becomes more central to economic and military power, we'll see more geopolitical maneuvering around these technologies. Google's rapid rise shows that established tech companies can still compete if they leverage their existing advantages intelligently. The safety research shows that the industry is capable of responsible development when incentives align properly. But perhaps most importantly, the practical applications, from Microsoft's productivity enhancements to Boston Dynamics' disaster response robots, show that AI is moving from hype to genuine utility. The AI revolution isn't coming, it's here. The question now is how well we manage it.